Hey YouTube, welcome back to Tinker Tools. Today we're going to be talking about another flat multi-feature flashlight, this time from Wurkkos. So let's go ahead and get into that on Tinker with Tools. Now before we get started, I do want to mention that Wurkkos did send me this flashlight to review at no cost to me. I do maintain full control of the video, but I always like to disclose any relationships I have. I appreciate Wurkkos for supporting the channel, but now let's get into the review. Now the light we're going to be reviewing tonight is going to be the Wurkkos HD01 Pro, and this is going to be kind of that multi-feature flat EDC flashlight that you've seen from a lot of different companies, but I think Wurkkos has done a couple of different things that are unique about theirs that may attract a different type of customer. Now, like most of these lights, you are going to have this flat design that is going to lay flat on the table, make it nice. It's not going to try and roll away from you. I think this type of light is very easy to pocket carry because it's going to be a little bit slimmer in my opinion. Now up front, you are going to have 3 different light sources where you're going to have your standard white light that is going to be 1200 lumens on this light. Now in addition to that, you do have a UV light that is going to allow you to see different things like pet stains. A lot of different uses for a UV light, and definitely is still going to be a nice feature in there. And then last but not least, this does have a green laser. All 3 of those lights are going to be right up front, kind of like what you see from most of these lights. Where the Wurkkos differs though is they do actually have a side light and just kind of a nice overall area light that I think is a nice addition to this type of light without really changing the form factor at all. Now the biggest change for this Wurkkos light from some of the other ones like you've seen from Olight or the ThruNite Defender that I reviewed earlier this year is instead of a dial and a button, this one just has 2 different buttons on here. Now primarily the first button is going to access the main light, and then if you double click it, it's going to access the UV light. Once the main light is on, holding that button will kind of go through and cycle through the various brightness modes that you have. Now the second button, or the forwardmost button, that is going to access with a single click just the laser, and so you do have a dedicated button for that. That is something that I kind of like about this one. It's not necessarily that the dial and switch is necessarily cumbersome, but if you prefer to have a dedicated button for it, this is going to be a nice light for that. Now additionally, if you double click, that's going to be how you access the side light. And so basically 2 buttons, single click does one feature, double click does a second feature. And so for the 4 different features that you have here, that's going to be how you're going to access them. Now, in addition to that, this is going to be a USB-C charging. That's my preferred method of charging, but I do think that it is going to be kind of a nice feature to be able to charge it with your phone charger or even your battery banks that you're going to be carrying around with you. Now, it does have a dual function pocket clip here that is, for the most part, deep carry. It sits pretty high up there, so you're going to be able to carry it on your pocket, or it has kind of the second little loop back, so you can go ahead and put it on a hat if you want to do that. Now the back end of the light is going to be magnetic. We'll try and get you a camera shot of that. And I really do like that, especially with this light, because not only are you going to be able to use the front light with that magnetic switch, but then you are also going to be able to use the side light. That's something where if you had to use this under the hood of the car, I think that's where the side light and the magnetic clip is going to be really useful. Give you just kind of a nice area light that's going to light up and be hands-free for you while you work on something. So I think they packed a lot of thoughtful stuff into this light to make it pretty decently and still compact size, but kind of differentiated a little bit from the competition that's already doing these lights, because we know there are many different manufacturers that make them. Now there are going to be 5 main light modes. There's going to be a moonlight mode that's going to be a single lumen. Low is going to be 20 lumens. Medium is 100 lumens. High 450 lumens, and then what they call their extreme mode is going to start out at 1200 lumens and then step down to 450 lumens if you keep it on. Now they do have a strobe mode on here as well that is going to be accessible through kind of a triple click of that main button. And then they also do have a side RGB light, but that's just going to be red and blue flashing lights. I don't really find that feature to be all that useful, but it is there if you need to signal someone with that. Now in terms of runtime, down in moonlight mode, they are claiming 70 hours, low 24 hours, medium 240 minutes, high 80 minutes, and that extreme mode 60 minutes. Obviously, when you start talking about an integrated battery in an overall pretty compact light, runtime is probably not going to be the strong suit of this, so it is nice that they, like I said, they do the USB-C, so you can go ahead and recharge it. All right, so now let's go ahead and show you the comparison. We are going to be comparing it to the output of the ArcField Pro. Now the ArcField Pro is a 1300 lumen light. This is a 1200 lumen light. but we'll leave it up to you if you can see any difference. Let's go ahead and take you through those modes in a dark field at night. Overall, I've been using this thing for about a week and a half at this point. I do think that it is a nice functional light, and overall it's very compact and lightweight. While I think it's going to be user preference if you like this or the dial and switch that many other companies have gone with, I do think that they did try and do something different. Now, the other feature that I think is a really nice addition to this style of light is going to be that side light. Having that on there adds a bunch of versatility or functionality, in my opinion. In terms of how it competes with the other lights, having used it back to back with the Arcfeld Pro, I think this is a comparable light, maybe not quite as premium, but that's where we get to the best part of this, which is going to be the price. Now, the standard pricing for this light is going to be $69.99, but right now the promotion that they're running is actually pretty hard to pass up and puts this at a very tempting price. If you put this in your cart on Amazon, it will give you up to 50% off, so it takes this light all the way down to $34.99. That price point is very tempting for me because even as I compare it to the other ones that I've reviewed on the channel, even at their Black Friday promotions, you're not getting anything less than about $50 for this style of light. So to come in and undercut that by $15 and give you that added side light functionality, $35 is a screaming deal for this light, and definitely something that I think could be a great stocking stuffer or something that you could go ahead and get as a gift for someone in your life. I've given this style of light to several people in my life, and every single one of them has been impressed with the amount of versatility and functionality that you get in such a compact light. Having all those different functions and features, this is something that I know will impress a lot of people in your life. So there you have it. The Wurkkos HD01 Pro is a great light and definitely at a great price right now. Be sure to check out the link down in the description if you want to see it, and make sure to take advantage of the sale price, part of their Black Friday promotion. Now, if you have any questions, go ahead and leave them down in the comments below. If you like this sort of video, go ahead and hit the like button, and if you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you get notified when I put out a new video. As always, thank you for all your support, and until next time, I'll catch you on Tinker with Tools.